If you grew up and learned how to read in the United States and are watching this video, you probably are well aware of Curious George, a book series by H.A. Rey about a monkey and his adventures with the man with the yellow hat. Now, Curious George has been a part of reading curriculums all over the world for many years now, particularly in the 90s and 2000s. Curious George became a very popular part of reading curriculums and libraries all across the United States and the world. Originally a simple book series by H.A. Rey, they spanned into an entire empire with multiple books and TV series and interactive websites. Right now, I would highly recommend this book series to anyone expanding their English vocabulary. Now, I put most of the Curious George books in the original series or the adapted books from the television series into my reading beginner level 3. This is because while a lot of the books are easy, and it is definitely designed for younger children, the vocabulary is very difficult in some of the books. Most of the books contain at least a word every page that would be very difficult for a beginner reader to use. Now, the one good part about this book series is that it does contain difficult vocabulary, and that it's able to push an understanding of a lot of additional words. The stories are engaging, and if you have someone to read to you, then this would be a great book series to expand what you know. One cool reason to use this would be there are so many online resources. You can find the Curious George official website on their YouTube channel and watch through a ton of episodes that were made for the Curious George TV programs throughout the years. You can also type in the names of the different books and be able to listen to someone else read the story for you. So if you did not have a native speaker to read the words for you, or your child, you would be able to hear someone else clearly read through the books. This would enable you to get the reading experience and be able to build up vocabulary. Most of the books you will find from Curious George come as a result of the TV series adaptations. So they made TV episodes and then they turned those into books. There are a bunch of the original books by H.A. Rey and then Margaret Rey later, who helped write them. Now, one weird addition to the original books was Curious George Flies a Kite, and then the Curious George ABC book. Because while almost every other book would be at a beginner level 3 because of difficult vocabulary, the Curious George Flies a Kite entered in as a book perfect for beginner readers. I would put it at a beginner level 2 because it only has 3 words: curious, from the title Curious George, string, and helicopter, that would be outside the top 100 words that someone would learn as they're beginning learning how to read or learning English. So it's actually a very easy book to practice reading on. Now, it is very long and goes 80 pages in length. So I remember reading this as a child and thinking, this book is never going to end. If it was just the books by themselves, I would be a little more hesitant to suggest this book series to people learning English as a second language. It's great if you have a mom or a dad or a native speaker who's able to read the stories fluently to you, but if you don't, then reading through most of the books would be more difficult. because, again, there are at least 1 or 2 words per page on average that are difficult for a younger reader or a beginner English speaker to say or read or pronounce. But I do really encourage reading through the Curious George books because they do have so many resources online. If you get engaged in this world, then there's multiple TV shows that were produced throughout the years and a few movies. There's also a bunch of people who love and want to share these stories online that you are able to find and listen to exactly how to say everything. So even if you weren't a native speaker or you did struggle with reading, this would be a great resource for you. Curious George is a great resource for teachers because we have a bunch of resources available to us. There are online stories that you can listen to. There are the different TV shows that connect with the books series. There are the original books. There are the newer books that were built as readers and so are at a younger level. And so you can go anywhere from beginner level English all the way through about a 3rd grade reading level. The original books with the different vocabulary that was used would be all the way up to a 3rd grade reading level. The one thing you might be concerned about is the books were written many years ago, and in the original stories, there are characters, including the monkey, who smoke a pipe. And if smoking is not your thing, you might want to go ahead and skip the original books. However, it definitely got phased out for the TV series and later editions of the book. How many of the Curious George books have you read? Which adventure was your favorite? Is there an adventure or a quote from any of the stories that stand out to you? For me, I particularly like the beginning of the story where it says, "He was a good monkey and always very curious," because that just reminds us, be good, be curious, learn more.